Hey everybody, this is David B69 and we are live. Yes, everybody, we are live. We don't do this too often, but I figured this would be like a opportune time to go live. Um, Mainly because I was kind of hoping for somebody to show up in the chat and basically to have conversations about trades. There's been a lot of stuff happening in Major League Baseball. We're not looking like Otani's going to get traded at all. The Mets have gone full board crazy, and they traded Max Scherzer and David Robinson away. It's been absolutely nuts. I'm hearing reports of some other big names that could be traded. There's talk of possibly Paul Goldschmidt coming to the Phillies. It's just absolute mayhem, and I am all here for it. Now, in my opinion, our roster isn't too bad. I really don't think it's that bad. I mean, we're like basically 8.5 get better than the Braves right now. I mean, in the overall standings, I mean, we're the number 2 seed in the National League. I mean, we're going to get by. So, I mean, it's like unless we fall like another 4 games back and the Cardinals catch up to us, I don't see that happening. I think a lot of the times when I lose some games, it's basically on my own stupidity. I just either move too quick or I'm just doing stuff that I really shouldn't be doing during mid-game. These little accidents that are occurring just are not really indicative of the players that we have and who are we going to become as a franchise. When I look at our roster, I can look at each little separate the entity here. We have starting pitchers, okay? We have Wheeler, we have Nola, we have Suarez, we have Walker. They're going to be our playoff starters. Now, I could try to hunt for like another great starter, but I don't need a 5-man rotation in the playoffs. I really don't. I only need a 4-man rotation in the playoffs, so we're perfectly fine there. Now, relief pitchers are sus. We're really not that great on the relief pitcher department. I can try and see what we can grab there, but I'm really doubtful that we'll get anything ultra talented. But even with that, I mean, you can see our ERAs in the bullpen. They are not doing that bad. Even Soto had a very high ERA when I brought him back up. He's going down. So I really shouldn't like stress out about that too much. And yeah, Dominguez, he's been our closer, quote unquote. But I mean, I wouldn't have him closing any of our games. I generally been leaning more on Kimbrel because he has more experience with it. But yeah, so I think we're perfectly fine there. But I do want to see if we can try to find some kind of deal. So I'm going to look, and we're going to do this live. So this means it could take time, which is perfectly fine. And I am seeing if we are still live. And yeah, we're perfectly fine. We're live. Just wanted to make sure because I peek over on my phone every once in a while to make sure everything is hunky-dory. Now, like I said, we have like these long-term contracts, so we're perfectly fine. There was one trade I was looking at possibly making, and forget exactly what that trade was. Was it McClanahan? Yeah, because he's like a $750K salary, but he's only he's 4 and 6. but he's a 2.91 ERA. I just really just think that would be like a really nice asset, but I'd be willing to give up Zach Wheeler. But the question is, what else do I have to give up with it? Now, my opinion, we have some first basemen that we really truly don't need. I would be perfectly willing to give up one, but no, that's not going to do it. But it's, how about CJ Crone? No, that ain't going to do it. They're also looking for center fielders. I'd probably give up Tavares, but that's not good enough. So maybe Vaughn and Tavares? Nope, they're still not good. It's still not good enough. So yeah, these are the kind of things you look at. You gotta look at all this talent, all these players, and you just gotta basically just keep on keeping on. I want nothing to do with big time power hitters. So we're just going to look at different starting pitchers right now, because I'm just seeing if I trade Zach Wheeler, what could I get for a Zach Wheeler? But I don't want to use the thing with the suggest trade. I mean, I know I can do that. I know that feature is available, but I like to personally look at it from my own eyes and kind of like do the eye test before I just plainly just come out and say, hey, well, let's just do this. I just don't really want to do that. Okay, here. Now, actually, let's look at some teams and stuff that are like deeply trying to sell. That's probably a good idea from right now. Washington's rebuilding. The Cubs are rebuilding. Actually, this isn't a bad way of looking. Okay. So the Cubs are rebuilding. They don't have anybody I'm interested in. Reds, they're rebuilding. No. I mean, it's like I'd look at Hunter Green, but with rebuilding, he's 23 years old. He's a perfect guy to have for him. No. Okay, Pirates, no. St. Louis, no. Arizona's rebuilding. And this is a possibility. Zach Gallen. You have any relief pitchers worth anything? Maybe. Let me take a look here. Let's look at Arizona. Okay. So if we looked at Zach Gallen and Chafin, like $12 million in salary. In order to do that, I'd be able to pass off and would they want Painter? No, it's not enough. See, but Wheeler, they'd be interesting to do. See, this is the part that I don't understand. They'd be willing to do this, and it just honestly makes no sense. I really don't. I'm not doing this deal, but it makes no sense when they say they're rebuilding, but they'd be willing to take on more salary. I'm sorry, it just makes no sense whatsoever. There would be no way in the world that they would want to do this deal. Now, if I said Andrew Painter, because I'm honestly trying to look at this here. And maybe Herzog? And it's actually, that one's one that is like not at the moment, so it's like really close at doing it. Maybe. Okay, let's look at some other positions here. We got Real Muto Marchand? No. Yeah, these are just C guys. Let's look at some second basemen. No, and they're all D's, so I don't know. Nobody's going to want them. Sosa? You want Sosa? No. And they're all D's, so yeah, I don't see anybody that and any of these guys would want for a rebuilding team. And I only want to do something where I can see actually happening in real life. So if I say Mick Abel and Lee Davis, wow, you got to be freaking kidding me. I would be giving up 3 super young pitchers that are starters. Yeah, the trade mechanics in this are still mystifying me. Okay, so the Diamondbacks are just a no-go. So that isn't going to happen. So let's look at the rosters again. Because like I said, we have to look at here. Rockies are rebuilding. Rockies have no starting. Interesting. Boston says normal. That's fine. Yankees normal. I don't want either one of them. And Michael King is an 86 overall, but his ERA and WHIP is horrible. But look at that break in velocity. I would be interested in seeing if they could talk and see what they say. Hate trading with the evil empire, but if I can make a deal, like maybe. I mean, they're in normal trade mode, which in that could mean anything. He only makes 1.3 mil a year. Now, he said he's a relief pitcher. Okay, that's kind of interesting. Marchand? No. Actually, I might be able to do it with Marchand and Cody. Cody work? I can't complete because of budgetary. Man, that's just irritating. I mean, how can you have budgetary constraints here? The freaking Yankees. So that isn't gonna work. The Mets are saying they're in a playoff push, so they're not gonna do anything. Miami's normal. Atlanta's normal. Texas is on a playoff push. Seattle. Seattle is a possibility. I wouldn't mind having some of their players. Munoz. Could I get Munoz away from the Mariners? I think this is a real stretch. I really don't think I'm going to be able to make any of these deals possible. Mainly because it's really hard. He has 4 years, so he has like 3 years left after this year, and he's 24 years old. If I could get this guy, it would be a miracle. Looking for a catcher, which that really, look how much that really brought it down. They are very interested in Marchand. That is actually very interesting. Now, would they be interested in Cody? Not really. There's not a huge interest there. I'm not giving up Edman. Ethan Wilson really doesn't do anything for anybody. He's hurt. Close. Yeah, they're not. Now, if I said Cody. Okay, so maybe if I said Marchand, Cody. Would they do Soto? No, that does not work. Well, Strom actually got it closer because there's a second year on it. I think that really helps. That second year, Alvarado, they would definitely do it. But I don't want to give up on Alvarado. So that's actually very interesting. Marte, nope. Herzog. That's an interesting one. They're saying they're not interested in this moment. But the trade deadline's coming up, so yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm kind of frustrated because I really, really do want to make a deal, at least some deal. I wouldn't mind making one deal just to say, hey, we made this deal before the trade deadline. Okay, in Kansas City, yeah, there's no. Yeah, there's nobody with the A's that I want. And I'm not trading in the division, so yeah, it's just it's just not going to happen. I just don't. I don't see. Let's see. Is there anybody else that I'm weak at that I can make a trade? I did want to look at possibility of first baseman. Okay. But I wouldn't mind moving. There's been a rumor that Paul Goldschmidt would be coming to the Phillies. I mean, he's a good fielding first baseman. Great strong contact and lots of power. I don't know how he only has 8 home runs. Okay. Let's look at a trade with the Cardinals. Let's see what that would impose. Could it be a good idea? Okay. Now, Paul Goldschmidt is 35 years old. He has another year left on his contract after this year, which would be like really cool to have. Looking for a relief pitcher. Stramman brings it a lot closer, which I'm not against. Do they have any relief pitchers that I would want? Maybe I get Hicks and then I can re-sign him? Yeah, it doesn't put it too far off. And then maybe if I gave him Vaughn and Cron? No, that's not close enough. But it's really close. I could let that money bleed. I'd be perfectly fine with that. Looking for a shortstop. Mariano? That's just not a bad deal. I'm actually surprised this doesn't work out. I'm actually impressed that this would not be enough to get this done. It's just that's a pretty good deal. I mean, even Castellanos doesn't make it happen, which baffles my mind. Okay. Yeah, I really wanted to trade Vaughn away. I'm actually really shocked at Goldschmidt. I can't get this deal going. I don't want to trade Bryson Stott. Do I include Edman in the deal? If I did Edman, then they'd be totally interested in it. I'd lose Strom, but I'd get Hicks. I'd get rid of Vaughn and I'd get rid of Edman. But that really puts me behind the eight ball with, I'm sticking with Stott in that situation at second base. Which I'm fine with doing, but it's really I'm taking away from the offense. And I'm just basically totally swinging and just moving on from him really quickly, which I'm okay with, I guess. And yeah, we're just going to pull this trade. This is a good trade. I'm getting Goldschmidt, a definite strong starter, and I get Hicks in the bullpen. I'm going to add a little bit more salary to us, but I'm getting rid of Edman and I'm getting rid of Strom. So yeah, we're going to pull the trigger. Yeah, this is happening. Done. That just happened. Darn. So Paul Goldschmidt is now a Philadelphia Philly. So now when we look at our rankings, our shortstop is still number 1. Our first base is number 2. Our second base and third base are kind of questionable. And I think the rest of it's going to be fine. Let's look at our lineups. We're going to have Goldschmidt. Can he even play outfield? He was actually born in Delaware, which is really crazy. Okay, so we're just going to move Castellanos to left field. Goldschmidt will play first. And man, that just makes sense. And you love to see it. I mean, it's great stuff. Goldschmidt, first base. Schwarber. Schwarber, you're going to go DH. Okay. Because it just makes sense. And, yeah. I think we're going to go with that. Okay, let me play around here. Now, if we look at some trade blocks, well, those teams are interested in acquiring Wheeler, but I'm just unless somebody blows me away with trade, I'm not going to move him. Just going to keep him. Now, CJ Cron, Houston, San Diego, or Milwaukee. Let's see about looking at Houston, San Diego, or Milwaukee. Let's see what happens here. So first we're going to go to Milwaukee. Okay. CJ Cron. Now, what have you got for me? Now, would they do that? No. But it's like, I got to try. Let's see here. Outfielder would be like really cool. It would never do Yelich. But I had to try. I had to like see what they say. Wow. 22-year-old Sal Frelick, a left fielder. You put him in a couple years in the minors before coming up. We're gonna not have Castellanos and such anymore. What do we have in left field? Yeah, we really don't. I mean, it's like he would like fit in perfectly because it's another young left fielder. Just put them in the mix in there and see what happens. Now, he does play center field and right field, and yeah, he could fit in perfectly fine, I think. I like it. He's an A potential, bats left, throws right. I mean, right now he's not ready for the major leagues. The fact that he has 16 games in the major leagues is honestly too much. But they had to do it based on injuries, I guess. I just got to look around to see what else they have in their organization. Sometimes you just got to go shopping. Pete Crow Armstrong. Okay. I wouldn't mind having him in our thing. He's somebody to compete against Justin Crawford. Would you take Guthrie away? No. No. I had to try. Marsh. No, they'd be willing to do that. I don't want to do something that they wanted to. Ooh. I got rid of Tavares. Because I think Marsh is just as good. Yeah, but I kind of like the backup. Because I needed... Actually, maybe... Would you do Laurenado? No. Because I'm trying to get rid of some of the salary. Because, like I said, I'm kind of like high on my salary. Ooh. Okay. Now, this is interesting. If I got rid of Quasar and Laurenado, he's like... Because it's like Quasar is only $60,000 a year. Getting rid of a 27 and a 28-year-old. It's not a bad thing, and I get a 21-year-old, a potential 69 overall. As a center fielder, I think this would work out well. So we're basically going with minor leaguers, getting rid of over $10 million in salary, which is a huge salary dump. And honestly, I am making this deal because I want to get rid of Crone. I want to get rid of Laurenado. Yeah, this makes sense for me. So we're doing that dump. Okay. Okay, so now we still have 26 people on our roster. Got Hicks, got Dominguez. Okay. Have our two catchers, have our first baseman, have our second baseman, have our third baseman. A great part about Sosa is he can play second or short as well. Trey Turner, he's pretty much our all-around guy. We got a little bit of depth there. Finally have some depth in the outfield. Sal, you're not going to be in the major leagues right now. I am sorry to report to you, dude. You are going down to the minors. Okay. Jake Cave, you're not going to the majors either. Okay, well, we're going to do something with Jake Cave in a minute. But you are going to Triple A. Let's see, where was the other guy that I had, was really young? Yeah, he's basically, I'll move him actually to Triple A. And then we're going to move you to Double A. Okay. And yeah, we'll stick with that because it just makes more sense. And yeah, we'll stick with that. And center field, you are actually going to Double A as well. Okay. Now you notice we're basically having a little bit of shortness in roster space here, mainly because we've been trading and getting rid of a couple players each time. So we're going to have to do a little bit more grabbing here. We only have 12 pitchers in the majors, and so I want to grab another starter. Okay, so let's do some shopping. So let's do a little bit more trade talks. And I want to get a starter, but I do not want a top line starter. So this is a little bit more tricky. Because I don't want a top line starter, but I want a guy that I want to put in the bullpen. Now, Bello, how you doing? Okay. Well, I think he's serviceable as a bullpen kind of arm. I mean, he has 4 different pitch types. Stat-wise, is not great, but not bad either. Now, you have one thing to do for me. I don't have a first baseman to trade. Who was I trying to get rid of? Jake Cave. Okay. I know I got to do a little bit more. Would you be... Ooh, definitely interested in making that trade. Brian Bello. Yeah, I don't need a 14th pitcher, but kind of like trying to look around. No. You know, I guess just sometimes you just gotta pop around and try to look to see if we can get a little bit more out of the deal. Because if we get rid of Tavares and Cave, number one, it gets rid of Cave, which is a huge thing for me. I really don't. He's just a waste of. He's a waste of space, honestly. I mean, I could pick up some other free agents and fill up our roster, but then if I have some injuries, I am going to be in deep doo-doo. I mean, that's just the facts. And that's why this trade deadline is so huge. Yeah, Nick Pivetta is not going to work out for us. Okay. Yeah, I really don't like Zach Plesac that much. That's young. Okay. Now, how long can he go? His stamina's 25, but 27 years old. Has 3 solid pitches. You know, I think I'd be good with this trade. I think this trade could work out for us positively. He's played in 28 games, has a 3.51 ERA. Had a little bit of wild streak in him. He's 15 walks. But I generally don't have that problem. Yeah, I think this will actually work for our advantage. Get a nice young starter, which is good for our future, and get a good solid relief pitcher. Okay, so that would work. Okay. That's good. Okay. Okay. Yeah, it looks like we're just going to have to stick with Painter as our number 5. Relief pitcher, I think we're like really strong now. We have like really deep bullpen with Garnchak as the top guy. So he's going to be a key force here for us. Throws right. So we lost the lefty, but I think we're fine with that. So I think we're going to be good. And let's see how. right fielders, we got Harper and Castellanos. Center field, we now have Brandon Marsh. Now, like I said, if there's an injury that takes place, we just bring up the Pete Crow Armstrong a little early. He's 21 years old. He's not the greatest hitter right now, but he has some experience. Of course, he's only hitting 167, but like I said, he's gonna need some work. Okay, so it'll be fine, and he's gonna grow to our future. Marsh, I mean, we have him tied up in contract for years to come, so there's no reason to move from him. He can continually grow. Left fielder, we have Schwarber, but now we have some youth underneath of him where I can feel a little bit more confident that we have just somebody that bring up eventually that is going to take his place when his contract's over. So I think we're really in a strong position there. Shortstop, we're kind of a little weak. Yeah, I mean, and second baseman, I mean, I don't want to bring up Cody Clemens. Let's look at free agents. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think he'll be fine. We can sign Jalen Miller. And Jalen, you might be shocked at this. Oh, we're signing you, dude. This is an interesting free agent. Kind of like it. Yeah, you're a done deal. You're joining our club. Okay. Oh wow. Well, I have to look at it because Marsh is not a good hitter off of lefties. So I'm trying to figure out if I actually want to pull this deal here. But he's not too bad. He has 80 speed, he has 50 contact versus lefty, but it's pretty much the same. But it just makes sense with the speed and stealing. I'm just going to assign him because we just need players. I mean, we just need a little bit more bodies. So I'm going to just go with that. We have a 27-man roster now. Just going to move one of the yeah, he's just not ready yet. So we're going to move him down to AAA. Give him a little bit more time to grow. But we have Marsh there. He'll be fine every day. we can do a little bit of juggling to make it work. Center field, we got Marsh and Pereira. Schwarber, got Trey Turner at short. Like I said, we can jiggle some of this stuff around to make it work. Napoleon Mitchell can play second base, so if I actually ever need to sit down Trey Turner, I can move things around a little bit, do a little juggling. Sosa can do that as well. Sosa's not the hitter, so I'm probably going to lean on Mitchell a little bit more. But I'm actually very happy with this, of how this has turned out. I think we're going to be in good shape. First baseman, we got Paul Goldschmidt, so we're solid there. You need to move to double A. Catchers, we're very comfortable with that. Got good closers. And relief pitchers, we're solid on relief pitchers as well. So I'm very happy of how we did everything right now. I think we're fine. Gonna move this guy to double A. Move you up to triple A. Move you down to double A. And move you up to triple A. And I think we're fine there. And we're just going to leave it all alone from that point on. And, yeah. Yeah, just the player moves, all the player moves I just moved. Like I said, pitching rotation, we're good with that. Pretty much going to use Soto as my long reliever. Like I said, Kimbrel's my closer. Alvarado's an option. Dominguez is an option. And everybody else is a middle reliever. Yeah, I'd probably like to keep this set up the way it is. Like I said, we don't sim anything, so I don't have to worry about balancing this based on what they're going to do. I'm not overly worried about that. It's not something that I'm concerned with. I just want to make sure I am setting us up for the future. And I think we're going to be in good hands at this point. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, I think our trade stuff is done. Like I said, I'm not worried about being third and second base and like 24th and second base and 23rd is second and it's like our center fielders. And we're perfectly fine. Our starting pitchers are just immaculate. First base is now immaculate. Shorts, I mean, we're just so high on all the other positions. It honestly does not matter. Now we're here. We could do some contract extensions. Now that we have him here as a catcher, should I sign Danny Jensen to a long-term deal backing up Real Muto? And if I do, how much for? I mean, how much do you give to this player? It's really hard. I mean, he goes arbitration. I do not need to do that. You see, this is a key thing. It's what you got to look at. He's also going to arbitration, so we don't need to do anything. Renew. Arbitration. Okay, he's actually like going to be leaving, so we're not going to overly worry about him. Hicks, also not too worried about it. He's a 74 overall, but he's 26 years old. I probably wouldn't mind having him if I can get him cheap. Okay, you cannot be seriously looking. Okay, he's looking for $4 million a year. It's actually not that bad. Okay, so maybe if I can get you down to 15 million for 4 years and have a player option, your bullpen, and we'll backload the contracts. Says he's pretty happy with that. You're not happy with our coaching team? I thought our coaching was pretty good. Let's try to make that offer. Done. Okay, we're good. Painter, rookie, so he's fine. Hall's going to be fine. Marsh is going to be fine. Soto, I don't really care. He's fine. So, yeah, all the other people, it's like this is going to be really simple. So I'm not overly worried about it because a lot of these players are just not going to be an issue. And here it goes. There's the big trade that we made. We got Paul Goldschmidt. Man, it's like $26 million a year. He has 1 year left on his contract. You know, after this, he's gone. It doesn't matter. Paul Goldschmidt, I want you here for this run, and that is all I want from you. So, yeah. Okay, I gotta fix the lineups. I thought I had the lineups were fine, but apparently I didn't. You know, I think it was the non-DH, which, I mean, it really doesn't even matter. I mean, those things are just total nonsense. Yeah, we're gonna have Marsh play against left-handers now. Yeah. Okay. There's always going to be a DH now, so I don't know why they still have that in the game, but it is in the game. When it's in the game, it's in the game.